Hello and welcome to the Collegian Sports Show. I'm your host Zach Niner, and while my pickup line of "Do you watch Breaking Bad" may cease to exist after Sunday, I will always have these three faithful gentlemen to rely on as wingmen. Please welcome.
I'm Jake Somerville, clearly the underdressed today. Guys looking sharp.
I'm Rob Davidson, and Cleveland still rocks.
I'm Mike Kilcoyne, and I did not think of a line today.
While most of you guys are probably watching football, baseball, and of course Breaking Bad, what caught my eye this week was women's volleyball splitting its opening weekend against Michigan and Michigan State in Big Ten play. Deja McClendon had a terrible game on Friday, but as Russ Rose said on Saturday, one of her best games of her career. But what did you guys take away?
Well, my weekend takeaway actually didn't quite happen this weekend. It was a bye week for Penn State football this weekend, and despite the bye week, never a dull week for Penn State football news. We found out last week that Penn State will be getting some of the scholarships back that they lost from the sanctions. So big news for the school and big news for the football program.
My weekend takeaway, women's soccer, big bounce back weekend. They struggled a little bit against Northwestern, but came back with a big win against Purdue on Thursday, 6-1. Beat Indiana 4-1 on Sunday. Good spread attack from Hayes and Rodriguez this weekend. So women's soccer, good bounce back weekend.
And what caught my eye this weekend was men's soccer. They beat Wisconsin 3-1 in the Big Ten opener. They also have not lost this season at home, so that's great. And throughout the season, they've averaged 1.2 goals per game, so 3 goals hopefully will build some momentum for the rest of the season.
Speaking of men's soccer, it leads us right into our news segment. That's the debate. Jake and Rob will debate whether or not the men's soccer team will win the Big Ten title this year. So guys, get going.
You know what? I'm going to have to say that men's soccer is going to take the Big Ten this year. They actually had the best record in the Big Ten last year. And though there's a lot of turnover within the team, biggest returning member, Bob Warming, their coach. He knows how to coach a strong defensive team. Last year's Big Ten Coach of the Year. And they allowed the fewest goals last year. They're actually in third for the fewest goals this year. But they've had 6 shutouts. And, teams can't score against them. So
It's true. You hear that cliche, defense wins championships. And although they're good defensively and their goalie's playing well, I don't think they're going to do it. They only returned 1 player from last year's team who scored a goal, Owen Griffith. They've only scored 11 goals in 9 games. I mean, even if you shut everyone out, you still got to score to win. So I just don't see it happening. But I got a question for you. I mean, they scored a little bit more these last few games. Do you think that's sustainable?
I think it is. We've seen them be able to score in big moments. Mark Wadded, he scored 3 goals, and the goals that he scored this season have been game-winning goals. Mm-hmm. So, I think they can score. They can score in big situations. I think they're going to be all right, and I think they're going to take the Big Ten.
All right. What do you guys think?
Now, I'm curious to hear what the audience thinks. So I want the audience. Let us know who you agree with more. Tweet us at @TTC_sports. That is @TTC_sports. And throw in the hashtag Sports Show. So now, guys, we're going to go into our new segment called Numbers Never Lie. And I'm going to say a number. You guys guess what the number is, and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to go with 1 for women's soccer. What do you guys think 1 in women's soccer means? We need some music over here. All right, hold up the boards. Now, Jake, what did you say?
Said predicted Big Ten losses. They're pretty strong. So
Rob, what about you?
I'm guessing 4 players on the team with 1 goal apiece. Spread attack.
I said goals allowed per game.
None of you are right. It's about Raquel Rodriguez winning her first Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week with 2 goals and having a huge assist against Purdue last week. But Jake, you're up now.
All right. I'm going to have to go with women's volleyball and the number 5.
My guess, I'm going kills for Micah Hancock this weekend.
Mine was blocks against Michigan State.
If you can read that does not say skills. That says 5 kills for Micah. So, Jake, what was it?
5, actually, though Micah did impress with kills this weekend, you guys were all wrong. After losing to Michigan State this weekend, Penn State actually dropped to number 5 in the rankings. They were previously number 1 going into the weekend. So,
all right.
What do you got, Rob?
My number is 99, and it's for field hockey.
99?
Yeah, going up there.
Can I get a lifeline on that?
All right, so Mike, what do you got?
99, I had shots on goal this season.
All right. Niner, you ready over there?
Yeah. I won't even show you my scribble, but years since they won a title. I don't know.
And I said goals this season. There was another prediction because obviously they haven't scored 99 goals already. But
Mine was a little tough. You're all wrong. That's the shot differential between Penn State and other teams.
Wow.
They have outshot other teams by 99 shots this year. And,
It's a great number.
Yeah, it's not exactly showing in the goal differential, but, it's a big key for them. So,
Mike, what do you got?
All right, my number is 2 for cross country.
2. All right. Well,
Zach?
I said 2 meets this season. I'm not sure if that's right, but
No. Actually, yeah, that is correct, but not what I'm referring to.
Similar to Niners, I was saying 2 wins for them in meets so far
That
this
actually
year.
is correct. First one, that's correct. And
all right, same
Bob
page
also
here.
got it right.
Two teams wins
close,
so far
guys.
this
I was
year.
close.
So we were struggling, but we did do a little research this weekend. So
Now, guys, we're introducing this green hat that fits well with Mike right now. It's our Fast 5 segment. So, Jake, first question. Over under 1 more appearance from the men's volleyball team dressing up as Mario, Luigi, Gumby, Santa at women's volleyball games this year.
though that was inspiring and pretty exciting, I'm gonna have to take the under on that one. Though there was a lot of excitement, they were dressed up, a lot of characters on the men's volleyball team, but Penn State actually lost that game. So, just for karma's sake, I'm gonna have to ask them to not do that again. All right, Rob, I got a question for you here.
right.
Let's see what we got. Will Penn State's football's defense hold Indiana under 30 points this weekend?
That's a good question. I don't see it. Indiana's got a real high-paced offense. I believe they're scoring something around 44 points a game this year. Penn State has struggled against fast-paced teams. Ohio last year, UCF this year. Defense a little bit banged up. I'm just not seeing it. So, Mike, I got one for you.
I'll go in there.
A little bit. Is it right that Penn State has 0 men's hockey player on its preseason players watch list for the Big Ten?
I mean, this was kind of controversial, but at the same time, this is Penn State's inaugural year in the Big Ten. And I mean, Casey Bailey and David Glenn could have made a case for it being such great scorers, but it did hurt them. But also at the same time, it is just a preseason list. Doesn't really matter. David Glenn even told our own Darian Summers that he personally doesn't care that much.
I like the name drop on Darian Summers on that.
Yeah, he'll appreciate that. And then Zach, last question for you. Would you rather get a spike in the face from Ariel Scott or wake up every morning at 5 a.m. to practice with the rowing team?
Man, I don't know about that one. Getting a spike in the face, it hurts. Your dignity kind of gets lost. I'm not taking the spike in the face. But, man, waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning to practice on the men's or practice with the rowing team is pretty rough, too. I think I got to take it. I mean, I was a rower. Tried out rowing at Syracuse, so why not relive those roots? So I got a question for all you guys as Mike hides the hat over here.
Oh, it's my bad.
And Penn State Sports Power Rankings, who is your number 1 most successful team in history of Penn State athletics?
Starting over here, I think we got to go with women's volleyball. I mean, they won 4 championships from 2007 to 2011. Complete dominance. Women's volleyball has never seen a run quite like that. Obviously, they were ranked number 1 earlier this year. Even despite the loss this weekend, still a strong team. Historically and right now, I got to go with women's volleyball.
What about you, Rob?
I'm going women's soccer. They've won, I believe it's 15 consecutive Big Ten titles. Went to the national championship game last year. You got one of the program's all-time greats on the team right now, in Maya Hayes. I'm taking women's soccer.
I'm going to keep the trend going of women's sports, except I'm going to go with women's basketball. This past season, they were the 12th NCAA Division I program to win 850 wins. They also have the most Big Ten titles with 7, and also lead the Big Ten in NCAA tournament appearances with 24.
How did you guys forget about the fencing team? Let me just ask you that. They have 12 national championships since 1990, 10 Olympians in that time, and 17 undefeated seasons since 1980. Honestly, I don't know. That's like UCLA John Wooden style. I don't know about you guys. But now we're going to go for what to watch for this weekend. So, guys, what are you looking forward to?
I'm going to stay on that track of women's volleyball. Coming off that loss this weekend, I think they play Indiana on Thursday, short week for them, and then Purdue over the weekend. I think they're going to come back strong after losing this weekend, so I expect a pretty dominant performance from them.
I'm going to be watching women's hockey. They're opening their season this upcoming weekend with 2 games at Vermont. Beat them last year for their first win as a Big Ten program. Vermont's going to want that back. They got 15 sophomores returning all their production. Going to be an exciting weekend for Penn State women's hockey.
I'm going to have to go with the football team. Big Ten season opener against Indiana at Indiana. Historically, this wouldn't be much of a game, but Indiana's, like Rob said earlier, 44 points per game. Best passing offense in the Big Ten. So last time Penn State played a great quarterback was against UCF. Obviously, it did not turn out well. So we'll see if Penn State defense can rebound and open up the Big Ten season well.
With cross country, they're playing or they're racing at Paul Short at Lehigh this weekend. Last year they did not compete in this race, but I actually did, and there's always great talent. There's number 14 Iona's gonna be there on the women's or on the men's side, excuse me, and then number 9 Cornell, who won the last year on the women's side. But one name to watch for is Stephanie Aldrich. Last year she competed in this race, finished 5th in the high school race, and she's a freshman now. I look for big things out of her. But now this is a time where our favorite ref's going to come into play. You thought he wasn't going to show up, but he's going to find a way. So ref, take it away.
Thanks, Niner. Over here at the news desk, where the Collegian is actually made, taking a break to give you another rant. Now, what the subject of this rant is going to be is one that a lot of people may not even realize they're doing it, so I can't fault them for lack of intelligence. Offsides or offside? What's the rule here? Well, I hate to play word police, but it's offside. There's never, ever been a case where you should say offsides unless you're talking about multiple offside calls. The calls are never offsides. And seriously, look at the rule books. There's no S. So when you say offsides, you sound like an idiot. Say offside, you're good. Say offsides, you're stupid. That's my rant for this week. I'm the ref, and who knows what we'll talk about next week, but I'm sure it'll be me insulting you.
Thank you, ref. I always appreciate your insights, and they're always great. You never disappoint. So guys, this has been the Collegian Sports Show, the second Collegian Sports Show. Stay with us as we bring on special guests, air at new locations, and come up with even new exciting segments. I'm your host, Zach Niner, and this is
Jake Somerville.
Rob Davidson.
Mike Kilcoyne.
Keep living the dream, State College. Have a super fantastic week.